Welcome back to Brew Talks. I'm Steve Stroud. I'm president and CEO of Roswell, Inc. We're the economic development organization in the city of Roswell.
I'm Andy Williams, president and CEO of Visit Roswell. We are the official tourism destination marketing organization for the city of Roswell. And two amazing guests we have on today. Most of you probably know them because you've seen that powder blue golf cart, that Bronco-themed golf cart driving down the road, heading toward Canton Street. But they also actually own a pretty successful wine market. Deep Roots Wine Market and Tasting Room, and we're thrilled to have Dana and Todd Gurela on. Welcome.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you guys for being here. You know, I can't believe it's been 6 years. Mm-hmm. You guys just celebrated your anniversary, which is awesome. I text Dana and I say, congratulations on 5 years. She goes, hey, wait a minute, 6. Amy says, hey, what do you mean? That's the year we got married. What are you thinking? Come on, get it together.
And y'all celebrated with us,
We did celebrate. Mm-hmm. So what a great addition to downtown Roswell. You guys are Roswell residents, obviously. Talk to us about your background. How did you get into the wine business? I know you have some background, both of you. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, Todd is the one who got me interested in wine. I didn't, when we first got married, I didn't have an interest in it at all. Fast forward, we ended up moving to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and didn't live too far from wine country. So first off, we just visited there a lot. And in doing so, we got to know some of the people who worked there. And, when it was time for me to go back to work, I talked to Todd and he said, you really need to get into this wine business. So I went to Napa Valley Wine Academy and got a little certificate just to make myself more comfortable. And then I started working in a couple different wineries there.
Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Todd, you got background in the wine business, or was it just a hobby?
I just have a great eye for the wine list when I'm taking people out for business dinners and things. So no, it really just grew up naturally as far as my business travel and ordering wine and being able to visit wineries and things like that, and then having the opportunity to take Dana there for the first time and just seeing how it changed her perspective. I like to tease her a little bit. When we first met, she drank only light beer. Like
really?
Ultra,
what?
Mick Ultra.
There you go.
Corona Light was about all she would touch. And so it took a little while to get her into wine. She started with white wines and things like that. And then after we visited
box
Napa,
wines.
There was a little bit of box wine for a little bit.
Wow.
But no, after we visited Napa, she just fell in love with it. And she actually told me the very first time we were there, I want to live here one day.
Yeah.
So then it became my mission, trying to figure out how I could get a transfer out to California and have the opportunity to let her be part of wine country.
Yeah. It's funny, if you've ever been to Napa Valley, I was actually surprised. First of all, it's beautiful. It's awesome, and you can really take in. The scenic beauty of it's incredible. But I was surprised at how not pretentious it was. I kind of fully expected to be lectured, and really the vibe of it was just have a good time, drink what you like. So let's talk about the wine that you all specialize in selling from Deep Roots. Is it focused on Napa Valley wines, or is it all over the place? Do you do Tempranillos?
Yeah, when we first opened, because that was where I was most comfortable and really felt it was easy to talk about. So we started with California wines only. And then eventually we just got so many customers who said, I really love Oregon wines, I really love Washington wines. So we expanded to any domestic offering. So we've got wines from the Finger Lakes, we've got a wine from New Mexico, but heavily from California. Mm-hmm. But just to go back to what you said about going to Napa, and I try to tell people this a lot, and that's why we try to make our tasting room not pretentious at all, like just super easy, approachable, and because that's the way wine country is. They're farmers first and foremost. You know what I mean? It's all about the agriculture. So we just really just kind of we try to keep it nice and easy and light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, your tasting room is kind of like going to the living room, right? You just feel like, and that's why it's a hangout, right? It's kind of cool to have in the neighborhood someplace that you can go and just hang out and see people and see friends, and it's got a very comfortable
and that was the goal,
warm.
And it still is the goal. And I just had a talk with another gentleman who's starting a new wine business and wanted to know who do I hire and what kind of wine education do they need to have and all this sort of stuff. And I really said for me it's about hiring somebody with awesome hospitality skills, someone who's going to make you feel warm, welcomed, go the next mile just to make sure you have a great experience. The wine stuff will come.
Right.
I'm confident of that. You have to know a little bit about wine, and what I mean by that is you have to enjoy drinking it. You know what I mean? So it can't be completely foreign. But yeah, so we don't try to focus on, lecturing people or, teaching them what's the right thing to drink or the wrong thing to drink. So just
Yeah.
try to keep it nice and easy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
go ahead,
been it's been fun to watch, over the 6 years, how the demographics and things in Roswell and the visitors in our wine shop have kind of evolved. Originally, it was a lot of people that look like Dana and I, about our, age demographic
Yeah.
and things, and watching it over the last, especially a few years here, it's really now changed to a much younger demographic as well, as the overall demographic of Roswell. But it's a really nice mix, and people feel really comfortable bringing their brand new babies, bringing their dogs,
Yeah.
bringing their parents, bringing, whatever
Yeah.
it may be. And we really enjoy that kind of openness that it has in the community, and people wanting to share it with their friends and relatives and things like that. So
We've had multiple first birthday parties at Deep Roots.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like we joke all the time. It's not a joke, but we say it. It's nothing to see a tattooed up dad pushing a stroller with a mom and a couple
Yeah.
labs. Yeah, I mean, you go into any of our breweries, you're going to see that. You're going to
yeah.
go into Deep Roots, and you're going to see that. It's a great mix. I mean, we in our neighborhood, which was built in the '70s. Just the young families that are moving in, that are renovating houses and things. I mean, it's a reflection of what the entire community really looks like. And
Right.
you guys have been so successful. You've opened up a second location, so kudos to y'all and the hard work.
Thank
'Cause I
you.
know that's not an easy business to be in. But where you guys also really shine outside of the environment you've created, you do a lot of off-premise stuff. You do a lot of programming also at Deep Roots. And I feel like you guys, you're not just selling wine and letting people enjoy it. You're kind of like looking at what's on the horizon. What are some things that we can get into that maybe others aren't doing? So talk about, the workshops you guys are putting on, for lack of a better term.
Classes and
Yeah.
had Stems on the Move in, and you partner with Paul, and so what does that look like?
No, I mean, that's huge. I mean, people love to do something other than just sit and drink, be creative, like you said, make a floral bouquet. I was talking to somebody the other day, we're going to do a sip and paint. We've done those before, so we're going to do some more. I'll tell you what is the most popular thing that we are doing right now is wino bingo. So we literally do not have a seat left in the house. Like, people love to play bingo while they're drinking wine. And so it's been a super successful night. And actually, we're doing one in a couple weeks. So we're taking wino bingo, but we're also doing a little bit of a charity twist to it. So I think it's called Georgia Alliance for Breast Cancer. So part of their ticket price goes to the charity, and that's something else we're always trying to do, is incorporate our local charities, Roswell-based charities,
Sure.
Sunshine on a Rainy Day, for example.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Also, the Max Groover Foundation, we've got two big events coming up with them on the horizon here in August. So that's
Well-
very important.
Go ahead.
yeah, I just want to say, when we started this, I thought this was going to be just a nice, quiet little wine store
Yeah.
and things like this. And watching Dana, neither of us had any real small business experience. I worked for large corporations. Dana worked for a variety of different roles, and then spent time in the hospitality industry in wine country. And seeing her come up with these marketing campaigns and events and things that are going to drive people into the shop was just amazing. And I sit in awe watching how this has evolved, and at first it's terrified me, thinking like, how
Yeah.
are we going to handle these big events? And there was one of the first big fundraising events we had. I think we had over 100 people there on our patio inside the shop, and it was a big deal. And seeing how the community responded was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, and part of that is you're giving back, right? You both give back. The Deep Roots has got a reputation of being a giving situation. The scenario is clear, right? That you guys live here, you work here, you're plugged in, you're excited about what goes on, and you support local. And I think, that's the whole basis of the business model that you're in, is supporting local, and local comes back and repays, I call it tenfold.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, for example, the Roswell Women's Club. I mean,
Yeah.
they're huge supporters of us, and we are huge supporters of them in return. Just met with Claudia from the Women's Club a couple days ago. We're planning the Sip and Stroll.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
just always just trying to stay plugged in with those groups, and it's very win-win situation for all of us. But so another thing is we're actually franchising now, and part of our franchise
Congrats.
model is you have to be a member of your community, giving back to your community. That's part of the agreement that they sign up for.
Love it.
So
Great.
we just feel like that's, just such a part of who we are and what we do.
Congratulations. That's awesome. I didn't
Yeah, it
realize
is
that.
awesome. That's a big
kind of
step.
made it at a certain point when you're able to start doing that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a scary thing. We both talked about it for a long time, and we investigated a little bit, talked to a few people, and we realized we really had to identify franchisees that have the same mindset that we do.
Right.
And that's when we found the first one that had that same mindset and belonged to her community. It was a game changer for us.
Please don't tell my wife, Ryan, I do not need to own a wine shop.
Well, not in Roswell.
Right.
Yeah, you have to go far, far away.
Yeah, there you go.
Way
Okay,
far
that
away.
saves me.
Yeah, that does save you.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say the other cool thing that you all have added, everybody has a wine club, but your wine club is like, I hear it from my oldest daughter, Caroline.
Yep.
Her friends are like, "You're in the wine club?" Mm-hmm. And she'll go, "Yes."
It's very exclusive.
It's very exclusive, but it's such a social thing. I know for us personally, Amy and I, it's also a way that we can meet up with our daughter and son-in-law.
Yep.
It's a way we can meet up with other friends that we don't see on a regular basis, and they can, Dave and Rena Schmidt. We can say, "Hey, we'll
Yep.
meet you at how about what day are you going to do it? What time are you going to do it?"
Right.
It's just very unique, and I think that again brings back that whole focus on community and everybody working together. That's
Yep,
been
yep.
successful for you guys.
No, it has been, and unfortunately, we've had to put a hold on it because we just don't have the space in our current location. So we've got a wait list. I think we have like 250 people waiting
Wow.
to join. Yeah, so we're trying to,
Don't let your credit card expire.
yeah.
That's the lesson there.
We're trying to push them over to our Woodstock location to
Yeah.
say, if you get in over there, then you might be the first one on the list if somebody drops
Sure.
out. So we're just trying to give them some incentive to go over there.
Yeah, and that's something we've learned. Like, we have a fantastic space, and the different type of traffic that we can draw. Not being right on Campbell Street at first, it was a bit of a scary situation.
Yeah,
but
sure.
what we've learned out of it is, if you build an experience, people are going to come. That wine club has become part of the experience that,
It is.
that people expect now. And you mentioned your friends. Well, it's amazing to see how many people have made friends just
In
by
it.
meeting
Yeah.
and
Because
sitting
of
at the
it.
next table to
Yeah.
somebody, and it's fantastic to see that sense of community that's become part of the wine club.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something fun. I want to get into what you guys like drinking. I've stopped
Absolutely.
drinking, but I
Yeah.
remember when we went to Napa, one of my favorites was the Larkmead Cab.
nice.
I love that place, and we just happened to stumble upon it and randomly got a tasting, and that's always kind of stuck with me. If you're sitting down and you're opening a bottle, what are you guys going to?
Whoa. No pressure.
Well, normally some sort of a sparkling wine.
Sparkling.
Typically,
Oh, really?
Yeah, my go-to is Gloria Ferrer Blanc de Noir. So that's normally what you can see me in my hand at Deep Roots. But when I go out to dinner, I like Aperol Spritz right now. That's like
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
that's my obsession
Really?
at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Todd?
Well, for myself, I was always a big red guy. Didn't really like white wines or anything like that. But obviously, with the Georgia heat that we have, there's a need
little
to have
tough.
something a little cooler,
tough.
and maybe a big heavy red doesn't go in the middle of the day. So, Aperture has a Chenin Blanc that's barrel aged, and it's just fantastic. It's really a white wine for red wine drinkers, and I love it.
Okay.
But he's actually really a bourbon drinker. I mean,
Ah, see, there you
truth
go.
be
Okay.
told, yeah.
That's all right.
I love how people can be involved in certain businesses that are specific to something and then do something completely different. It's like wine versus
Yeah.
bourbon.
Yeah.
I always love hearing like people that are in heavy metal bands that listen to the Beatles and classical music, and then they go out and play like heavy, and it's just kind of like, what in the world? But I love it. I mean,
But it happens.
diversification of
Right there on Plum Street, though, we have the best of all worlds. I mean,
Yeah.
we have Vin 25 across the street. I can walk over, get a bourbon over there, sit on our patio, enjoy it with the friends that we have there. And it's a nice mix.
So win-win, and
win-win
it is.
for everybody.
It's a cool spot. You really are in a cool location. I love
Yeah.
that little area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the expansion of the parking deck and that whole area, you're just going to be set in a good spot.
Yeah, I hope so.
The future
Hope so.
growth is, we're seeing in the next 90 days or so, we'll have an official opening of Southern Post with the big grand opening, which will be exciting, which brings even more people down here. They're open now where people are moving in. So we've got 30 plus residents moved into Roswell.
Nice.
And more to come. And so that's just, again, part of that being in the right place at the right time and all the parts and pieces starting to to
Well,
work.
2 new boutique hotels coming on, and
Yeah.
that's
Right.
transient business, a high spending. I mean, those are going to be upper upscale hotels, so they're going to be looking for things to do, and it's going to be easy to point them in your direction. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one thing too, add back, if you're not a wine drinker, you do have beer.
Oh, we do, yeah.
And you got some great craft beer, some local beer.
Yeah, we have-
non-alcoholic beer for some
Right.
of us. So
we have a lot of
appreciate that.
non-alcoholic options
Yeah.
right now too. I mean, it's
Period.
really, it's kind of been, something trendy in
Yep.
our industry. And so we've got some really good quality non-alcoholic things as well as local craft beers. So there's something for everyone, honestly.
Yeah, love it.
Well, that's
the way
great.
to do it.
What's the next great adventure now? You've got obviously the wonderful franchising news today, that's wonderful. Woodstock's up and running. Anything exciting on the horizon?
Actually, so, our focus is really going to be, maintaining what we've got here in Roswell, just
Awesome.
really cultivating those relationships and ensuring that we, continue to be successful here. Focus on Woodstock and the growth there. Focus on
much
our
potential.
Chamblee franchise and just really get those
And
up
they're
and
open,
going.
right, Chamblee?
No, she's actually just starting her build
Okay.
out, so
Okay.
she's
All right.
probably 3 months away.
I wish we were down there. We'd help her.
But we're really just going to focus on making sure that all 3 of these businesses are super successful
Solid.
Yeah.
before we do anything more exciting. But anyway, I wanted to give a plug
Mm-hmm.
too. Todd tells me I don't plug this often enough, but every Alive in Roswell, we shut down Plumtree Street and we have a little block party
Yes.
with our neighbors, Ven 25, as
Yep.
he had mentioned. The salon there, and then Madrid is right next door to us. So
Mm-hmm.
we shut down the street. There's a band, there's kid crafts and family-friendly activities and snow cones and all that kind of fun stuff.
Love it.
So.
Well, that's awesome because
Yeah.
you do allow us to set up a table for summer
Yeah,
tripping.
yeah, and
and
really, we
visit
allow
Roswell.
anybody. We don't charge anybody if someone wants
Well,
to come
thank you.
do their permanent jewelry pop up or whatever. We're like, sure, come on. The more, the merrier. Just fill
yeah.
the street
all
and let's
about
have
that
fun.
community.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to plug Dana right back at you.
Oh, gosh.
Dana's a member of our executive committee for our board of
Absolutely.
directors and is a very strong supporter of these organizations
Yes, she
and our
is.
mission and what we do. So thank you for being an
My
advocate
pleasure.
for us and a supporter. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It
Wish
goes
I
a
could do
long
more.
way. Well, you're doing
No,
great.
right.
We just
Absolutely.
say this. Look, we're here to help you grow, continue to grow, keep your roots deep. People love what you do, right? That was pretty good.
That was great.
Well, there's actually a real tie to that. so.
There's a real tie to that, right? So don't forget your friends at Deep Roots. Please go out and support them because they support this community in a big way. So we're excited to have you both on. Be
Thanks
sure
for having
and-
us.
Yeah, be sure and share it with all your friends that this was a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.